Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special watch-along live for Argentina against Austria in Dallas. I'm Joe Prince Wright. Delighted to say I'm joined by Nick Mendola today. The Pro Soccer Talk crew will answer your questions, join you for this big game as Lionel Messi and Argentina look to make it 2 wins from 2 at the World Cup. And of course, Messi, he's equaled Miroslav Klose's record and just needs one more goal to be the all-time leading goal scorer in World Cup history. Just another record for him, right, Nick, to take, which he probably will today. But how are you doing? How have you enjoyed the World Cup so far? And as we see both teams singing the national anthems here, just want to remind everybody you can watch in Spanish on Telemundo and Peacock. We've got a link in the comments section for you to pull that up alongside us here. And you can also watch in the USA in English on Fox as well. I want to make sure everyone knows where to watch the game, but Nick and I will be providing analysis and insight throughout. So, Nick, thoughts on the World Cup, Messi, Argentina? How's it all going for you, mate?
Just phenomenally. I think maybe because I knew it was going to be in the United States and that we were going to be around it, maybe there was a part of, I don't want to say business as usual or blinders on or whatever, but once it hits, you realize the same thing I've said for over 30 years, which is we're only going to get so many World Cups in our life. There is no tournament in the world, anything like it. With all due respect to all other sports and even club football that we talk about here, it's just something special. And it has not been watered down, by the 48 teams. I think we always knew the question was always, oh man, 6, 7, 8 nations that probably could have been here but didn't qualify. And now maybe there's 6, 7, 8 nations who are truly, truly underdogs. But they're all showing up to fight. And I think it's been phenomenal. I've loved it.
Yeah, it's been brilliant. And like you said, those underdog stories, like I'm here in Boston at the moment. This is what you can see behind me ahead of England against Ghana tomorrow for our coverage. And just walking around the streets, I mean, Cape Verde fans were everywhere celebrating here last night with that draw they got. Argentina fans are generally everywhere. There's still Scottish fans here in Boston milling around from the Tartan Army being here. So I think in all the host cities that we've been to, you've been to Toronto and Philadelphia so far. It's just that celebration, right? The party, the atmosphere of, the results matter and on the pitch matters, but it's almost the bigger story is, people coming together, people creating memories together in these great cities around the beautiful game. And I think that's what's been the most enjoyable thing for me to see from afar and now up close and personal that's the real World Cup, right? When we look at that, people coming together and cultures combining, and it's lovely to see.
And something that I know that this starts to sound, corny and cheesy, whatever, but I think it's something that we needed, the reminders of, the cliche, right? How much more we have in common than what we have that's different. I experienced that both on site, but also, just being online and seeing the way people are reacting to things. There's not a lot of reason to be divisive about the sport, right? And so people who are coming to our country and experiencing it, or hopefully finding it more welcoming than perhaps they suspected, it's a nice feeling.
Oh, absolutely. I remember get involved in the comments section. Already got one there saying Messi is the GOAT, quite simply. But fair enough, right, Nick? I mean, after his hat-trick, against Algeria, just underline that in a tournament full of superstars of Mbappe, Haaland, obviously Harry Kane doing the business for England as well. Messi is just still head and shoulders above the rest. And I think key today when we look at this lineup here for Argentina, they're obviously unchanged, Nick, which you expect, but is kind of those players to do the running for Messi around him, right? We're looking up top, obviously Lautaro Martinez is the key for him, but you've got players breaking from midfield like Enzo Fernandez, Rodrigo de Paul, Almada. I mean, they're just getting the right players around Messi to say, you know what, like, we'll just get you the ball in key areas, you do the business and finish it off. And there was just a lovely sort of professional nature to that win against Algeria for Argentina. And I guess today, likely they'll want to be in a very good position by the 60-minute mark, right? And then they can take the maestro off and give them a bit of a rest. How would you kind of see this playing out for Argentina with this lineup?
Well, what I'm super interested in is the sort of, I don't want to say rotation, but Austria here, are we going to see, I don't want to say job done, because every single person wants to win the World Cup. But are we going to see the sort of, I don't want to say job done, because every single person wants to win the World Cup. But are we going to see the sort of, I don't want to say job done, because every single person wants to win the World Cup. But are we going to see the sort of, I don't want to say job done, because every single person wants to win the World Cup. But are we going to see the sort of, I don't want to say job done, because every single person wants to win the World Cup. But are we going to see the sort of, I don't want to say job done, because every single person wants to win the World Cup. But are we going to see the sort of, I don't want to say job done, because every single person wants to win the World Cup. But are we going to see the sort of, I don't want to say job done, because every single person wants to win the World Cup. But are we going to see the sort of, I don't want to say job done, because every single person wants to win the World Cup. But are we going to see the sort of, I don't want to say job done, because every single Every nation, every player on every team, the smallest team, the third goalkeeper, shows up sitting in his hotel room the night before the opener and thinks about winning it. But remember that Austria, as strong as they've looked at times, showed up to this World Cup having brought 3 huge long-term veterans to their first World Cup, or their first, having carried their team there. And Joe, I think back when we were first working together in 2014, one of the sort of dark horse conversations was, David Alaba and this Austria team, and it just hasn't kicked for them. And I wonder, when you go from this, hey, could we have a golden generation in our country, to, hey, we've made it. I wonder where the hunger is, because the burden has been lifted off their shoulders in a different way than the burden was lifted off Argentina's shoulders, who they just feel like they're playing free. Hey, we got that burden off our back. We've got the World Cup. We've got Copa's America. Let's just, let's go out there and do our thing.
Yeah, and obviously they've reached the round of 16 at the last 2 European Championships as well. So they've got that kind of pedigree now of getting through groups. And I think Austria are in a good spot no matter what happens today, given that win against Jordan in their opener. And I kind of like the way that they're set up and the experience that they have throughout the team. It's a good balance there. So we'll wait and see what happens today. Game's kicked off, by the way, 0-0. Just inside the first minute, but already Argentina are attacking down the left. And obviously Messi just finding those little gaps. But Austria look very solid, very quick to get the ball forward. And that's what we know about Ralf Rangnick and his teams, right? When they get the ball, they're not scared to be direct, and they've got, physical forwards galore. So, this will be a much tougher test for Argentina today than Algeria was. And I'm looking forward to seeing how they react. But
I'm wondering to me, when I watch teams play Argentina, France, Brazil, it is, what are the triggers for their press? That's the thing. Are we going to pressure the center backs? And in this instance, as we watch Argentina already making inroads,
yes.
One of the things that catches my eye the fastest when I'm watching these games is, are they going to sit back and try and deprive those talents? You talked about the players who are doing the running for Messi, and there's no question, any Messi documentary you've watched in the last 10 years, he kind of floats around trying to find that space where he's going to be most effective to get the ball. And Austria seems to say, all right, listen, we'll press when you get into the midfield, when you try to find Enzo, when you try to find Lautaro, when you try to find Alexis McAllister, fine. But if you want to spend 90 minutes with your center backs on the ball, cool. You do that.
Yeah, I know. Almada, I think, was getting in there with the running behind, but just looked like he might have been offside, and shot went to the near post. But already statement of intent from Argentina. And I like, they're pressing high, right, in the right moments so far in this tournament, and there's that intensity to their play. It's going to be fun to see how long they can keep it up. But great options off the bench as well, Nick, when we get later into this game. So really deep squad for Argentina. But we all know it revolves around Messi and the legend that he is.
Which is true. It's truly remarkable, Joe, like, to think about. We've seen players who have had tournaments like he's already having, as
he nearly scores another, right? Just
on a penalty, yeah.
Oh, there's someone down in the box here. Argentina's players have got their arms up protesting. For now, Argentina have the ball back on the halfway line, but they are kind of pointing towards the officials, saying, let's have another look at that.
Well, they want Lionel Messi to break the record as early as possible, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, the moment that and now that they've paused it to take a look at it, and it is Lautaro. Yeah, it looks like Martinez. But
he's in the box. Ooh, this could be a penalty kick, right? I think the two Austrian defenders.
That's got to be. I think both guys.
Yeah, they both came in at the same time, and
there's no ball.
Yeah, maybe one got a slight touch on the ball, but that was after Lautaro was already taken out by the other Austrian player on his side. So he's clean through on goal. Both of them have come in from either side and caught him on his ankle.
I think he's fine. He's just making sure that VAR has enough time to address the situation. I wouldn't be surprised if the minute that the review is announced, he pops up. And again, hopefully he's not truly injured. But that, to me, that looks like about as close as it gets to a Stonewall penalty.
Yeah. So, this didn't get the ball there. It's hard in real time for the referee to give that, I will say, because
there's so many. It's a sea of legs. It's 6 legs, all wearing pink boots, by the way.
And the number 4 there for Austria looked like he just got a bit of a toe on the ball,
but Martinez had already been hit, I thought. But I guess we'll see. Yeah, maybe he is really hurt too, which would not be the world's greatest thing.
Oh, we got the Argentinian fans praying for a penalty kick here. As a VAR check for a possible penalty kick is happening. So potentially, like you said, a very early opportunity for Messi to break this record.
Yeah, and it makes sense to put, my first topic about talking about Messi on hold, kind of the exceptional, the duration of his run atop the sport, because we've seen guys have incredible years and where it just blows your mind how productive they are, but to do it time and time again into a World Cup he was not expected to play in, perhaps even until he came over to the U.S. and that signaled that maybe you'd get one more tournament out of him.
Yeah, this VAR decision has taken a long time. So usually the longer it takes, Nick, is a good sign for the team that wants a penalty, because it seems like they're seriously considering giving this. We've got Enzo Fernandez and Alexis McAllister around the referee there.
Even that's a bit counterintuitive, right? The longer it takes, the less decisive.
But the ref's going to the monitor. So that, again, is usually a good sign, I would say, that the VAR are asking him to have another look at this. So potential penalty kick earlier, very early on here. Once he sees this replay, I'm not sure how he can't give a penalty kick, Nick.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how you get away from it, except you're leaning on your own decision. I still think it might be Martinez's boot that gets the ball eventually through the legs of. Let's see. Well, we're going to get the announcement now. VAR. Yeah. I do think one thing that IFAB could do is, and maybe I'm wrong in saying this, and it looks like it is going to be a penalty.
It is going to be a penalty.
Now, Joe, if I'm wrong here, tell me, but when they draw the box, they can it seems to me they're only doing that when they overturn it. And so I think maybe they should draw the box even when they're not going to overturn it, to say, hey, after VAR, just to add a little bit more suspense.
Absolutely. And talk about the man and the moment. This is the chance for Lionel Messi to set the record as the all-time leading goal scorer in World Cup history. And this is perfect for Argentina, right, in this situation, for him to get this chance early.
Immediately sub him off.
Yeah, that's it. You've done your job, Leo.
So
he's on 16 World Cup goals, tied most all-time with Miroslav Klose. And Messi's about to step up and see if he can put Argentina 1-0 up against Austria. So the moment's coming. He's taking his time to step up in Dallas.
Realizing, of course, that he has missed a fair few in his time, and then you realize how many he's taken. And it's probably the same ratio.
Here he goes.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's missed it. He's put it wide.
Oh, Leo.
Oh, my. What? I think right on cue there, Nick, to be honest.
No, but I mean, really, I feel like with Argentina as well.
It's not a great penalty kick, and the Austrian keeper is celebrating. Went the right way, but Messi put it past the post. He kind of just seemed to really slow down in his run up there, Nick, and just scuffed it almost. It hardly had the power to reach the goal line. That was okay. It's still 0-0. I think we all expected the net to bulge there and Messi to get the record, but
there's a book out there. I forget who wrote it, and I should look it up because I've spoke to the man before about penalties, and this is a correlation between how long you have to wait between the awarding of a penalty, or in this case, the review of the penalty for the taker, and your percentage going down, because you've had more time to think about it. And that's why you started to see other people holding the ball for you, to see if you could mitigate that sort of tension that comes with, it's not quite free throws in basketball. It's a higher percentage.
Oh, yeah. The Argentina fans are still celebrating in Dallas, by the way, unperturbed by that Lionel Messi penalty miss. But I think I'm just stunned. Nick sat here. I just think with his Messi, you expect that to go in. So let off Austria early.
Joe, the virtues of having won a World Cup, right, is that, think about this, 4 years ago, like 4.5, whatever you want to say, that moment then goes, well, isn't that just it? The greatest player of all time just isn't going to get, a World Cup trophy. And now he misses, and you're like, yeah, plenty of time left. Like, it's the virtue of, and I say this as a Buffalo Bills fan, the virtue of how valuable it is to have that trophy in your back pocket, because we don't, because it just takes that pressure off a little bit.
Oh, yeah. He looks stunned. He looks stunned. The replays of showing Messi there, and he can't quite believe it. I mean, does the enormity of that moment, I mean, he's been so many big moments and all the rest of it, but for the last few days, everybody's just been talking about him breaking this record. I mean, he is human, pretty much, after all. So, like, does the enormity of that moment and kind of come into his thinking there as he's stepping up to take that penalty kick? It has to, right? He's only human.
I think so. I mean, Joe, think about it. No matter, usually when we're talking about Messi and even the Champions League, La Liga, whatever, obviously he's in MLS now, we have that thought that, I mean, it's a big moment and he recognizes the stage, but how much bigger is it than anything else? When he was a kid and somebody goes up to him and says, hey, you're going to score more goals than anyone else except, these two guys or this guy at the World Cup. And by the way, you're going to have a penalty to break it. Even then he's thinking, wow, that must be some pressure. So these are historic moments. This is when we talk about players like him, it's not, is he the best of his generation? We're talking about whether, the hero of his childhood in Maradona, a legend of his country, or Pele, a legend of his continent. That's who you're weighing yourself up against. And that pressure has to mount. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, and we got an Argentina player down here. Austria got a free kick just inside the Argentine half. I think Rodrigo de Paul went down. Gregorich is there for Austria. There's a lot of pushing and shoving, as we know, with this tournament. That's not allowed. Referees are jumping in very quickly with this. But Austria got a lot of big lads back there, so they're trying to clip it to the back stick and try to cause a bit of chaos as players stood offside, clearly. Comes in, the free kick, nodded into the danger zone. Austria keep it alive. Is that Kevin Danzo there? Jinxing his way down the left wing. Keeping the ball really well. Austria keeping this attack alive really well. Danzo whips in across. Argentina half clear. Austria just keeping the pressure on a little bit here. A lot of aerial balls. And I think this is their game, right, Nick? Try and cut out that Argentine midfield and attack as best as they can and go direct. And I think in that 30-second spell there, we saw what Austria is going to try and do to unsettle Argentina and Messi.
Now, Joe, I know we're talking about players with different statures at their club, but obviously Kevin Danzo had played for your Southampton, correct?
Correct. Many, many years ago, yeah.
Well, I was watching Brazil the other day in Philly, and I just couldn't help notice when Bruno Guimaraes was on the ball. It was kind of become a living legend at Newcastle. Do the clubs ever flash through your mind when you're watching these teams, or are you able to just completely shift to the international game?
No, clubs always flash. I think in your mind, you're like, I know what this guy can do, or you kind of flash back to his best moments, or some of the weaknesses maybe from that particular player. But I think you correlate it all to the club level and what they're doing there. Like Konrad Laimer there on the ball for Austria. I mean, so many great players at this tournament. It's just a joy to watch. And you said it, right? These games that you've been to so far in person, the intensity of these games is quite something. And it's just the quality and how much it matters in every single second of the World Cup is amazing. So, for me, you do think about the club play and it gives you that kind of reference point of knowing what to expect, even though they're on different teams and it's different scenarios. It's fun to see these guys that, we watch week in, week out on our Premier League coverage for NBC Sports, and just seeing them come up against very different situations and usually coming out on top, most of them as well.
I've got a Messi question for you, but it's in the context of Harry Kane and some others.
Okay.
If Argentina were to make it back-to-back World Cups, if they were to lift the trophy, and obviously this is way down the line, and Inter Miami have a stellar year, would you rule out an MLS player winning the Ballon d'Or?
No, definitely not. I think, yeah, if they repeat and he has as big of an impact as he's already had, then of course he's got to be in the running for it. And I think that'd be great for MLS. And like, look at his numbers there. Yes, we know it's different than European.
But it's dominant. But, yes,
but it's still very impressive no matter where you're doing it. But I think maybe they're like, he's won it enough, and we'll give someone else a chance. But
well, I do think Kane is the front runner. I think if England have even a semifinal run, I think almost in the sort of career achievement mode, especially because how Mbappe, as good as he was at Real Madrid, how disappointing and noisy their season
out to be. Yeah, exactly. I think you're right. I was going to say that, like, his stats were very good at Real Madrid, but the season, the way it ended with no trophy for them, basically almost takes him out of the running. Even if he was to go and score 8 goals at this World Cup and France were to win it, maybe that's a different conversation then. But I think, we'd love to see Messi in the running and Argentina go back to back, because no team has done it, I think, since Brazil in 1958 and 1962. So it's been a fair old time since a team's repeated as champions of the World Cup. It's only happened twice before. So that shows you how difficult it is. But Argentina on the attack here. Austria just about do enough defensively. And let's get to some comments, shall we, Nick? Because have a look at some of the comments coming in. Terrible penalty. Okay. It wasn't the best. We said that, right?
But terrible taken penalty. I thought you meant terrible penalty decision. No, it wasn't a very good penalty at all.
No, it wasn't. Messi a goat? Nope. I don't know if we can really get into that conversation. He's pretty good.
I'm happy to have the conversation. I don't even. Again, it's a generational thing, Joe. Because whether it's Maradona or Pele or the equipment advances or the physical fitness advances, the training, it's difficult to measure generation to generation. But with all due respect to Ronaldo, I think this generation's debate is over.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. No debate now, really, for me. It's I don't think it's even really that interesting to have the debate, and it's okay to go say Ronaldo's great. And
he's great. Yeah, one of the best of all time.
Yeah. But I think Messi, given what he did in Qatar and what he continues to do for Inter Miami and what he's already done at the start of this World Cup, just kind of silences all the doubters right there. So just to remind everybody, you can watch along live in Spanish on Telemundo and Peacock and in English on Fox here in the USA. We got the comment pinned in the comment section there, so you can have the link to watch it. And also it's in the description for this video. So just to see a few people there in the chat, you can pull up that stream, watch it live, and also watch along live with us and send in your questions, analysis, all the rest of it. Okay, Messi missed a penalty, but I felt like the goalkeepers are doing super well this season. I mean, probably one of the storylines of the tournament is goalkeepers, right? I mean, we saw Vozinha for Cape Verde, how great that storyline's been. There's been what
Iran's keeper was very good.
Yeah, Curacao was excellent. I think the amount we love upsets, right? Oh, Argentina are in. Messi's in. What a save. What a save. He somehow managed to get through a couple of tackles there in the middle of the box. The ball ricocheted to him. And a great save there from Schlager with his foot. Wow, Messi just keeps on going. But
another thing to note, Joe,
goalkeeper's doing well at the tournament. So
Messi has scored in 5 consecutive World Cup games, 4 of which were knockout round games. Australia in the round of 16, a goal and an assist against Netherlands in the quarterfinals, goal and assist against Croatia in the semifinals, 2 goals against France in the final when Mbappe had a hat trick, and then, of course, the hat trick against Algeria. So at some point, you have to think he's right on the verge of setting another record for consecutive games with a goal.
Oh yeah, it's incredible. It was an incredible save from Schlager there, wasn't it? I mean, Messi, you just again expected the net to bulge after he jinxed his way past that couple of tackles there. He's clinging through, just a great movement in. I think it
was kicked back by Alaba.
Yeah, David Alaba actually got the toe in, and then his own goalkeeper saved it. So
could you imagine we'd be writing the posts on him setting the record, and then the replay comes in?
Yeah, everyone would be celebrating Messi getting the record there, but that would not have been the case. So I guess you could say a timely interception there from David Alaba, because otherwise Messi would have scored for sure.
I've been asked a lot about, I think there is at least amongst casual fans and maybe even some experienced ones, you don't realize how many times these own goals are really intelligent decisions from, not that one wouldn't have been, but from defenders, because it's the only chance they have to intervene. I'm talking about the Ipswich Town guy against the USA. He has to try and punch that over the goal because Ricardo Pepe 99.9% of times is just tapping that in the goal.
Burgess, yeah.
I don't know if he's still with Ipswich, but he was the last time they were in the Premier League.
Oh, yeah. Just seeing someone down there, Nick, if you can recap what's going on for everyone back home.
I can't see that. It's off camera, Joe. Oh. It is Conrad Limer. Looked like he caught a boot on the side of his ankles. We see the slow motion replay. There was some talk in the last game, Joe, because Messi came down, as some of us of a generation would say, he bladed a player on the back of the calf.
Yes.
I like to think I would say the same thing if it wasn't Messi, but as he's coming down, his hands are already in the air like, I can't get out of the way. And I think along with his legend status, I'm sure that played at least a little bit into it, but like, I don't know. Do you think intent should matter when your boot is raised?
Probably. I think it's about the force of it as well, right? In terms of how much damage you're going to do. Sometimes you can mistime it and just,
are you straight-legged, right?
Yeah.
Have you gone to ground? Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of variables that go into it. But, I guess not really been that dirty of a World Cup, I'd say. Like, not many bad challenges have really flown in overall. There's been a couple of spicy games, but
I mean, that's the VAR effect, Joe. We talked about it in the Premier League. You can get caught now.
It's true. It's really true. Austria on the ball. Nice little ball inside, building up an attack on the edge of the box. Lima there, playing it out to the right. A cross comes into the back post. Austrian heads it down. Oh, good defending there by Christian Romero, I think it was.
Yeah, I think it was too.
Had a shot and then he's cleared it behind for a corner, but patient build-up play from Austria. But what we were talking about, they're not scared to get it into the box early, whipping the crosses, and Sabitza's kind of holding his hands to his face there. He feels like he could have maybe got a bit more on that and just snatched at the shot. But they have a corner kick coming up here. And again, all the big lads are up. Danzo, Lima, lots of others, Alaba as well. And this is, again, what we thought for Argentina, a bit more of a test than the first game.
Yeah, Austria have looked good, honestly.
Decent, yeah.
I got a comment here from Alex Katsona saying, the keeping has been great and the U.S. keeper has not really been tested and don't know what we will get. I would say that's my number one question. And that's nothing against Freeze. I don't know that, Turner is miles better, but he does have the World Cup experience. It's just a question I have. It doesn't mean he won't be phenomenal, but that's the number one position of concern, which, there's some irony there, Joe, because I grew up, the one thing I knew, whether it was Tony Meola or Casey Keller, Brad Friedel, even Marcus Hahnemann as a backup, right into Tim Howard, we had a world-class goalie.
Never had to worry about it.
The last two tournaments, it's been, Matt Turner was fine, and Freeze so far has been okay, but you feel better. Think back to Costa Rica and the Keylor Navas heyday. You felt like they could do anything. Bono for Morocco.
Exactly.
It can change the entire confidence of the way a team plays.
True. Yeah, and that's why we see some of those minnows picking up results so far at this tournament, because their goalkeepers are making a big hydration break, by the way, at the moment. So
everybody needs a drink, Joe.
Everybody needs a drink. Let's get some good comments coming in here. All right, I hope Ronaldo does well in the next game, because now it's looking like a good opportunity to capitalize on Messi not doing it. All right, one penalty kick miss. I think we can cut a bit of a break for everything he's done. But yeah, I think maybe looking ahead to that Portugal game, obviously drew their opening game. There's the debate, right, about Ronaldo. Are Portugal actually a better team with him not starting? Maybe he just plays a bit part role and comes off the bench. So many great players, in theory, like Bruno Fernandes, Rafael Leao, if he starts in this second game, that can put chances and crosses, Bernardo Silva, etc., on a plate for him to finish. Just looked very clunky and looked like a team of individuals in that opening game for Portugal. So, yeah, I don't know where you stand on the Ronaldo, should he start or should he be on the bench debate. Kind of leaning towards the latter, if I'm honest, a little bit. But I don't know if that is actually possible given his legendary status.
I think when I look at them, and first of all, I don't think Ronaldo is a bad player. If he was starting for Australia, nobody would have a question about it, right? And nothing against Australia, but just thinking about their center forward situation.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
When I think of him with Portugal, there's a possibility that at 41, and this means doing the math, that at 37, he was in the last World Cup, he's kind of stopped other center forwards from getting those sort of big moments for Portugal. So while, João Felix could play, by the way, João Felix still only 26 years old. It's crazy to think about. But while João Felix could play in maybe a non-traditional role, or Leao likes to be out wide, Ramos is really the only true center forward of the bunch, in my opinion, besides Ronaldo. And I just wonder if there aren't as many clear-cut alternatives. If Ronaldo is your career 10 out of 10 and you had a guy who was an 8 out of 10, then I think you're probably thinking about starting him. But, Martinez is in a very difficult and unenviable position, because I would not start Ronaldo, but I wouldn't have started him in the first game either. I would have made hey, you coming, buddy? Cool. You're going to play every game, but you are not going to start every game. That would have been the plan.
Yeah, no, it's fair. It's 0-0. Hydration break is over, so we're coming up towards the half-hour mark now. Some of the stats, there's only been one shot on goal for each team. And Austria have had 6 touches in Argentina's box, and Argentina have had 4 touches in Austria's box. And it's pretty level on possession as well, nearly 50-50. So I'd say for Austria, they'll be delighted with, the penalty kick aside, this first half an hour couldn't have gone much better for them. They've had the penalty kick that was put wide by Messi, and then Messi kind of ball bounced into him and then him getting past one defender, but great recovering defender and defending and save from Alaba and Schlager respectively. So all in all, Austria, the game plan is working quite well, and Argentina just look a little bit, what's the word? Just lacking in intensity, maybe slightly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. What do you think they need to change, Nick, Argentina here to kind of get on top in the game?
Yeah, I think there's been an effectiveness with Austria, with the way they've moved the ball and the intent that they have. And I'm curious if maybe this is not Lionel Messi's strength, and maybe this is a problem. But might I start my press a little further up the field? Might I put those backs under pressure and see if I can force it? Because Argentina, to me, in the midfield and at the back, are a very strong team. And so I don't mind them being under pressure, and I would start to take those risks.
Yeah, absolutely. Austria on the attack down there. They've had some decent chances down the left here. Lima's got clear and won another corner. So, again, this is what they're doing. They're trying to get the ball wide early, either whip it in or win set-piece situations and get all the big lads up. And it's working.
Yeah, I mean, at least at the moment, Joe, it's a 4-4-1-1 out of possession, and that one of those ones is Messi, who is just drifting. And again, you accept that when you have a player like him, but it is arguably 11 versus 10 when Austria have the ball.
Corner comes in, headed away by Argentina, loops back down. Austria keeping it alive. It's bounced around. Oh, lovely bicycle kick to clear it there.
Don't see that every day.
Give it away. Oh, but they get it right back. Argentina get the ball away. So a little bit scrappy, exactly what Austria would kind of want in midfield. David Alaba's got it now, working it back to that left-hand side. Sabitza's got it, trying to cut inside on his right foot and find the cross. But they're being patient out wide. Austria looking for the right moment to play the ball in. But Rodrigo de Paul's back there defending. But it looks like the ball just went out for a throw-in. So maybe a long throw. I don't know. I guess Kevin Danzo's got that in his locker, right, for a long throw. I'm trying to think. So maybe we'll see that a little bit from Austria.
I'll tell you what. Sometimes you just remember how crazy certain tenures of whether it be the Premier League or something else is. I just remembered Sabitzer played for Manchester United. Like,
yeah, remember that?
All the cameos they've had in their time. I totally forgot that one of the better midfielders in the world just was randomly at United for like a half year.
Yeah, that seems like a long time ago. And Ralf Rangnick, who is his coach of Austria now, I think was involved at some part when he was there. He came on loan. It was around about the same time.
Yeah, I think so.
Obviously trust them a lot. But yeah, it's been tough for Argentina so far. Obviously, you can see all the flags around and the shirts. I don't know. I saw a couple of bits of red in terms of sections of the stand, but it looks pretty much like 90% Argentina fans or Messi fans in Dallas. So can't imagine they'll be delighted of what they've seen so far. But again, Austria, a very good team. Like I said, they've been to the knockout rounds of the last 2 Euros, and this is undoubtedly a step up from the game against Algeria in Kansas City last week. So,
I mean,
yeah, go ahead, Nick.
Sabitzer is right there on 100 caps. Arnautovic 134, Alaba 114. A bunch of guys with 40, 50 caps. There's an understanding of a system, and that's tough to handle. You're sometimes in that. We've got Messi now, but sometimes in that situation, those teams prove. I mean, look at Croatia. Not to make obviously have world-class players as well, but when you've got multiple guys who are legends of their camp, that things slot in pretty neatly when you show up to the team. That guy's the leader and that guy's the leader, and we follow what they do.
Oh, nice ball there. Oof. Argentina. Oh, Messi again. Little clip around the corner. The goalkeeper made a save, but the ball came straight back to Messi. And it was blocked again, Nick. So at the moment, he's probably thinking, what more could I have done to get this history-making goal? But a break from Argentina down left, crossing to the box, flicked around the corner by Messi. Goalie comes out and just rebounds it, parries it straight back to Messi, who's rushing into the box. And then...
That was his flick, too. I didn't notice that.
And an Austrian defender there. Is it Alaba again? I'm trying to think. So, yeah, blocked it. But, yeah, I mean, 3 big chances for Messi, I guess, so far. And Austria have done... He's missed a penalty. And Austria have done just enough to put him off on the other 2 occasions. But, again, another example that in and around the box, that's why you play him in your team, because he always seems to pop up in the right. Okay, Lautaro's in down the right side, cutting it back. A poor cut back. Austria get hold of the ball, and now they give it away now. So this is more promising for Argentina. De Paul on the right waits a bit too long to get the cross in, trying to calm it down. But I guess this is what Argentina need a bit. They need possession in Austria's half just to kind of push themselves an extra 20, 30 yards higher up the pitch, right, Nick? Because too much of this game has been sort of just around the halfway line and not really threatening for Argentina. But
we saw, Messi's first goal against, I was going to say Saudi Arabia because I'm thinking of the last tournament, but against Algeria was sort of counter quick developing play. They look like a team that when they're out of possession, they are completely, I don't want to say comfortable, but they're sort of lying in wait. Yes. And they're just ready to attack the moment that they get it in the press. But I think that's one of the things that makes them so dangerous is they're just as comfortable in possession. They're as comfortable counterattacking if they need to. Their backs are probably underrated, maybe because of Romero having a couple non-sexy years at Tottenham Hotspur. But it really is a complete team with, by the way, one of the best goalkeepers around sitting behind it all.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And being very patient here at the moment, building down the left side. But you have to say, you can very clearly see that Austrian defensive unit there. So well drilled, 4-5-1 essentially when they're defending like this and just shuffling over time and time again. So, yeah, some really, really good defensive play from Austria. We've got a comment here. The new word I've learned in this cup is the commentators saying it is to suffer. So Argentina is used to that. Yeah, I guess before they won the last World Cup, Nick, it was a long old wait from the previous one. And yeah, I mean, I don't think they're going to suffer much in this World Cup. It seems like they're going to get through the group stage pretty comfortably here. But
Well, there's also the other meaning, of the word is inside of a game. It was a Mourinho thing, right? Like, we know there are going to be moments when the other team have the ball and are wearing us down, and we just have to be. But that's kind of the point of what you and I have been speaking about for a while. Nothing is going to happen in this game that, barring like 3 straight Argentine red cards, that is going to, it's seen it all, done it all. What's your one? Got the T-shirt, right? Like, that's your big line when we do our Premier League show. It's like,
yeah, exactly. Nothing's going to ruffle their feathers, right? Nothing.
Messi's seen it all. Martinez has seen it all. I think going back to, and I want to talk more about Austria in a minute because we just haven't, but going back to the last World Cup, and they invite Aguero to come along with them because of how much he means to them. These nations that do have that setup that England had under Southgate, even though they didn't win a World Cup or a Euro, that France to some extent has with Deschamps. It's a culture that says you're part of the group the first time you're in until you die, right? Unless you excommunicate yourself, it's all one group. And I do think that is very much here with Argentina, and as Austria try to break into the box. I do have questions about Austria, Joe. Yeah. And they're not bad questions. It's just, can a team without a true worldwide elite talismanic figure, how deep can those how long does it get? It's the conversation about Pulisic being out and beating Australia. Yeah, it's nice that you do it once.
Here we go. Argentina clear on the break. Got a chance in the box. Oh, cross. Sorry, it was a counter attack there, quite dangerous. But the final cross in wasn't good enough. But
yeah. So
sorry, Nick, go ahead.
No, fine. How far? Can you think of any examples? Major tournament, maybe Greece, so many years ago,
True,
where a team didn't have that guy at some part of the pitch.
No, I'm struggling. I'm really struggling.
And so, like, that's the question. Can you count on someone else to step up every game? With all due respect to 37-year-old Marko Arnautovic, or because when we talk about Austria dark horse, that's why I have trouble putting the label on them, because I'm not thinking of that one guy who gets a free kick and now I'm thinking it's game. Yeah. I love Sabitzer. I love Conrad Leimer, all these guys, but Alaba, probably one of the unsung heroes of his generation in the entire world. But that's why I think maybe I'm still waiting. A result here would go a long way to go into dark horse status, obviously.
Yeah, no, I think as well. I think they are in that sort of bunch of teams, right, where you're like, in theory, if everything goes well and they just defend and they make all their games ugly like they're doing right now against Argentina, then they have, I think, like, the defensive sort of attributes to stay firm. They have going forward, as we've seen already, very good from set piece situations and crosses. And I think at the moment, Austria, again, are in that bracket of teams that can do something special and go quite far at this World Cup. All right, Nick, we've got 38 minutes on the clock nearly as Argentina are attacking forward. They're going centrally. Down the left, crosses whipped into the box. It's left for Messi. He's done it. He's done it.
Classic Messi goal, Joe.
Classic Messi goal. He's done it.
That's a pretty goal. I love that it's not a tap-in that breaks the record.
Oh, unbelievable. Argentina 1, Austria 0, and Lionel Messi, great build-up on the left, cuts it back. And like you said, we've seen this movie so many times before where he just curves it into the bottom corner of his left foot. So calm. And here, Nick, I'm in Boston, not far from the fan zone, and I can hear the roars from the Argentine and just world football fans a few blocks away as Lionel Messi becomes the all-time leading goal scorer in World Cup history with 17 goals. He's going bonkers. Just the 4 goals for him through the opening, 130 plus minutes in this World Cup so far. And yeah, this is quite something, Nick. We talk us through his goals. We see the replay here.
Yeah, so he kind of ghosts in that late arriving run, and somehow no one picks up the greatest player to play the game. But that's part of the mystique of great players, right? Is that we say that a lot. Hey, how has someone not found Messi? Well, he timed his run. He delayed. And to be fair to his teammates, the 3 touches beforehand were pretty exceptional.
And that's what we're talking about, right? Everybody around him is moving, working so hard to create this kind of space for Messi to get. And yeah, like you said, not quite sure what Austria are doing, not picking him up. But that's, again, down to his team, just the unit moving so fluidly around the pitch and opening up the space for him to do the business, as he always seems to do. And let's be honest, he could have had 3 or 4 goals already in this opening 40 minutes, given the chances he's had, the penalty he missed. But it's quite fitting that he actually broke the record in that way with that textbook Lionel Messi goal. So it's Argentina 1, Austria 0, 40th minute just before halftime. And again, cliche alert, but great time to score a goal if you're Argentina, because if Austria get in and it's 0-0 at halftime, then their tails will be up and they'd be feeling pretty good about themselves. But now they've got to chase the game a bit, and that's a perfect situation for Messi and co to be in right now. As Almada just went down, I think, got like a little shoulder in the face there from an Austrian defender as the ball went out. Stefan Posch was getting a bit of stick there from the Argentine players. The referee's trying to calm it down, but Posch got a yellow card. Just needs to be calmed down a little bit. But yeah, what a few minutes there for Argentina. They're well on top now, and Messi has broken the record.
His how many times he's finished with that left foot in just sort of not super powerful, but powerful enough, well placed, impossible for the keeper to reach. I mean, that is a pretty, I don't want to say standard Messi goal, but it's kind of a standard Messi goal.
It really is.
At least at this point in his career, yeah.
Yeah, he scores so many, so it's like, okay, yeah, he's done it again. We've seen that before. But yeah, Argentina in a great position just before halftime now. 3 shots, 1 goal for Messi. As Austria attack down the right, but a long ball looks like it's just about stayed in. Lissandra keeps it in. Austria pressing high, trying to get back into this game just before halftime, but again, nothing ruffles the feathers of Argentina, it seems, anymore. They've been through this situation so many times now in recent tournaments. Just seeing.
I mean, look, of all the teams that I'd rather not have the U.S. play, they're right up there. And I might say the same thing that England might not want to play. There's something about them that is, I don't know if I want to go with cultured, but weathered. There's wisdom in the way that they play. Of at least one component of each of their tiers, whether it be Martinez, Romero, McAllister, Fernandez, all the way up to Messi. And Lautaro Martinez, by the way, top 10 Ballon d'Or player in the voting last year. There's just, again, they're your team, Joe. They're the seen it all, done it all, bought the T-shirt. That's who Argentina is.
It really is. It really is. It's getting a bit chippy out there now. Is that Messi? He's just gone down, holding his leg. Got caught by Kevin Danza. Another yellow card for Austria there.
Just reminds me, Messi for Argentina reminds me, again, to reference my favorite NFL team, watching the Bills whenever Josh Allen might be hurt. And you're just like, well, oh, this will be the game. You know, just stand up, dude. Stand up.
Oh, yeah. This is, all right, Argentina perfectly where they want to be right now, right? Austria are just trying to work hard to win the ball back, but Argentina look very comfortable keeping it. Although they have just won a free kick just inside the Argentine half, so maybe this is a chance for them before the break to get level. Yeah,
what a World Cup this has been, Joe.
Oh, sensational, right? This is exactly what we wanted from this tournament, and the storylines, and there's still plenty to go.
Right, we're still so early in it, but I'm trying to think. There's maybe been one day where there wasn't. I mean, it was still good football, but there was maybe one day where it was like, oh, I was left wanting more. I mean, yesterday, let's just quickly. We get Cape Verde yesterday. We get Mo Salah yesterday, getting his moment for an entire country. You get Spain showing up the day before, the Netherlands-Sweden game, Germany coming back against Ivory Coast. Dip back to Friday. Obviously, we have the U.S., right? But also Brazil showing up and maybe putting some doubters to bed.
Yeah.
And yeah. Well, let's keep going back. Canada, 6 goals against Qatar.
Incredible.
Six goals. The Mexico-South Korea game was that day. Like, yeah, you can just – I don't know that there's been a bad day.
No. Again, we're only, 10 days or so into it. So it's plenty more to come. We're still going to July 19th with this whole party. So, yeah, it's so many great storylines, and the stars have stepped up. And I'm loving it. I don't want this tournament to end, to be honest, Nick.
Joe, huge in really smart comment from Thomas O'Driscoll 9344. He says, "Go Bills," and I just want to tell him that.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean that's what we call the sort of wisdom that is universal.
Oh, you can't teach that
through at least my house.
Yeah. You can't teach that wisdom.
I'll wear my hat for the second half.
Clearly, a person who knows what's up.
Thurman Thomas O'Driscoll.
Yeah, fair play to you, mate. Austria keeping the ball here. Got 7 minutes of stoppage time at the end of the first. I guess the long VAR check for that penalty kick is most of that. A few stoppages. Oh, Austria, nice little cross into the box, back to the penalty spot, but no one was there. But Austria finishing this half decently. Responded okay to going behind, right, Nick? And yeah, I don't know. They would obviously, again, another cliche, but they would have loved a draw from this game today. Austria be like, yeah, we'll take a draw from this. So hasn't been terrible, but obviously they've given up a penalty and given up a couple of big opportunities, one of which Messi has taken. So not ideal, but they're not going to cry themselves to sleep over it, are they? Because this is Argentina and Messi that they're playing against.
That's a terrific way to put it. Again, I don't want to say unflappable. Surely there are ways to flap them, Joe. But in this particular instance, yeah.
I think so. It's kicking off a little bit again. The referee's
hard foul from Martinez on Limer, who's been fouled a couple times so far and has clearly had enough.
Oh, yeah, just got kicked after the kind of ball went out of play there. Lautaro just clipped his heels and lashed out on him a little bit. Probably a yellow for Lautaro there for a little bit of petulance, you would think. But it is a free kick to Austria in a very dangerous position on the left flank, about 25 yards out. Looks like Sabitza's going to whip it in with his right foot. Oh, no, he's gone short. Gone back to Sabitzer out wide. Austria trying to work that man overload on the left. Finally, the ball goes back again. They're going to get it in, clip it to the back stick, flick it on. Austria sustaining the attack here. No, Argentina got the ball back through Enzo Fernandez. So a bit of a wasted opportunity there for Austria. You'd think with all the big guys up, just whip it in. It's caused chaos so far. But tried to be a bit too clever, knocking it back and forth. And now Messi's on the ball, driving towards the Austrian half. Played it a bit short. That's unlike him. We'll let him off. He's the all-time World Cup leading goal scorer now.
This is an Austria team that had lost once in the last calendar year. Not that they had been super challenged, but wins over South Korea, win over Bosnia and Herzegovina. There's a 5-1 win over Ghana. But I think to get a result here would have absolutely been the moment that kicked their hopes into overdrive. And perhaps because they have that win over Jordan, Joe, and because this would have been the game they probably said is a long shot for points, I wonder what the mentality will be or what the planning will be, knowing that they'll have a little bit more rest than Algeria and knowing that Algeria will plan on getting all 3 points against Jordan. So this is where that third game kind of starts to loom a little bit, because I will say that the goal differential point, the switching of the tiebreakers,
yes,
at first, I don't want to say it rubbed me the wrong way, but I wondered how it was going to affect the tournament. But what I do love is it's going to set up a lot of winner-take-all games, a handful of winner-take-all, because it won't matter that you're 3 points ahead. That, it's going to matter that, sure, you can get that draw, but the win is the tiebreaker.
Absolutely. I love it because it's just the jeopardy involved, and again there is the added bonus that teams only on 1 point going into their final group stage game are like, we can still make it. We can still make it and be one of the the third best teams, best third place teams, if you know what I mean there. So it just keeps so many teams in the hunt and just stops games. There's only a couple of games in the third group stage round of games that aren't going to mean much to either team. So
I'm having so much fun with the permutations, the 495 different ways that 8 teams can flesh out. At one point yesterday, the U.S. was set to play Ecuador. At another point, I believe DR Congo. So it's fun to watch it change because just one team dipping out of the top 8 changes the entire group that you could play. And especially, and I expect this will change soon, Joe, right now, Portugal is a third place team after one round, So the idea of someone slipping into a very, very difficult matchup by, like the U.S. could be in.
Yeah, absolutely. Comment there. Let's go Argentina. I think a lot of the soccer world is roaring them on, especially Messi, given this historic occasion in Dallas. And as the TV cameras cut to Argentine fans jumping up and down in the stadium and going wild. And I think that scene's going to be replicated around the world right now, usually with a number 10 jersey on. So it's great to see. I remember, everybody, you can watch this game live on Telemundo and Peacock in Spanish in the USA, and in the USA on Fox in English. And then have Nick and I pulled up along, send in your questions. We'll give our analysis and thoughts throughout what has been a historic first half in Texas as Messi's on the ball again. Plays it to the left. Argentina just being very slow with their build-up play. Playing it to the right. Now goes to DePaul. McAllister. Back out into the middle. They had a chance to play it wide on the left there, but they're just being very patient, trying to sucker in Austria to spring Messi there, who's right on the last shoulder of the defender. They're playing on the left and just keeping the ball very, very nicely. This is great to watch. Great to watch. All right, Nick, we're about to hit halftime. I think now's probably a good time to start gathering our thoughts on, what we thought about that first half. As we look at some of the stats, only 3 total shots for Argentina in that first half, which is quite surprising, and 2 for Austria. As indeed the halftime whistle was just blown in Dallas. And Austria also has more touches in Argentina's box. And just going through some of the stats there, 9 touches to 8. But obviously it's Messi's half. It's the half where he has become the all-time leading goal scorer in World Cup history. But his quality is the difference once again, right? They're actually, in terms of play on the pitch, there hasn't been much difference between these two teams. They've kind of played as we would have expected, contrasting styles, but he's the difference. And the 2 or 3 key moments have all flowed through him. And he's the reason Argentina are leading 1-0 at halftime.
He is. And again, that sort of active midfielder, that supporting cast, it would be a little too glib, a little too casual to say, well, if Austria had a Messi, but if Austria had a Pulisic, if Austria had a Jonathan David, if Austria had a Leandro Trossard, even maybe, like just somebody who's going to unlock the forwards, and David's probably the wrong comparison there, but I think that's what this game is missing. I've been really impressed with Austria, right? The way that they've set up, the sort of strength they've shown. You're always going to give up some chances to Argentina, Joe, and they've been prepared and well drilled, but I just don't think they have that surgical playmaker who is queuing people up, and that's enough to beat Jordan 3-1. It's generally not enough to produce enough chances to beat Argentina.
Oh, absolutely. And I think as well, on the other side of it, Austria will be okay. They probably knew that they were going to be up against it for sure, but it's, given a couple of good defensive plays and saves, there could have been 2 or 3 down here. So they've still got Arnautovic to bring on, some experience. They're just going to make this very difficult. We've already seen them pick up a couple yellow cards, very physical, scrappy team. So I think they're just going to hang in there as long as possible. They know that Argentina is going to have to make subs, and Messi will probably come off with 20 minutes plus to go, you would think, to kind of rest him, even if it is only 1-0. I would think that Argentina would do that. But yeah, I think Austria, been okay. If I had to give them a rating out of 10, like a 6.5 out of 10. And not much more for Argentina, but with the Messi brilliance, probably pushes them to like a 7 or a 7.5. But yeah, it's been a really even game so far in Dallas. Nick, any other thoughts? I know you got to jump off for a couple minutes here, but you'll be back with us for the second half.
Yeah, no other thoughts other than to say, for as much credit as we're giving Austria, maybe it's saying how much we believe, even subconsciously, in Argentina, because they also missed a penalty. This could easily be a 2-0 game, and maybe some of the support and backing we're giving Austria is that we didn't expect them to be as tough as they are. So,
no, it's very true. Very true.
See you in a few minutes.
See you in a few minutes, Nick. All right, so we got some a lot of comments coming in here. Gordo says, what do we make of the tiebreaker change with the head-to-head taking priority over? I like it. I think I was saying earlier, it for some groups, it does allow you to take it all the way to the final game, depending on the schedule and how it's worked out. I think it's a pretty fair way of doing it. And for this particular format, it keeps it so fluid because, again, if you win your group, you don't know which third place team you're going to play, and it's changing all the time in terms of the permutations. So I think for people like Nick and I who are working day to day and trying to work out not only just what the latest situation is, but planning trips in terms of where we're going to go to watch which game, it's very exciting and very fluid. So I'm in Boston right now. I'm here for England-Ghana tomorrow. Seeing the sights around the city. I can see the fan zone and the rain falling down here in Boston in the distance. But it's great scenes here. But I think I like the rule change generally. And I think that the format before this World Cup, I have to say, probably wasn't the biggest fan, as a lot of people were, about expanding it to 48 teams. But I like it now. I think there are so many teams that have been left out of the World Cup and the big party for so many years. And this is a very fair way to do it. And I think hats off to, again, the smaller nations for making the most of this opportunity. And I think it just goes to show the investment in the national team game and the game in general around the world is at a point where we're looking at this World Cup. Yeah, there's been a couple of blowout wins, but not many. There's been a lot of great stories. Again, we'll talk about Curacao getting a point. We'll talk about Cape Verde drawing against Spain and Uruguay. So I think it's been a really, really fun way that the new formats worked with the tiebreakers and adding those extra 16 teams. So I think, overall, I think it's been a huge positive. So I don't know what you guys think about it, but I really enjoy it. Okay. Alex said the US team gets to stay in the same venues. That helps. Teams that have to go cross country will be shocked at the travel if they have to travel. It's a great point, to be fair. Obviously, the US now winning their group. They know that they are on the West Coast for the next 3 knockout games, which they're going to get through all of those. But San Francisco, Seattle, and LA obviously already played at 2 of those venues in the group stage. And I think that's why we're seeing maybe some of the desperation for some of the bigger teams. Germany the other day, for example, we can't settle for a point here. We need to win this game to win the group, to give ourselves the best opportunity, not just who we're going to face in the knockout rounds, but where. And I think when you start to plot through some of the teams and the draw they got in terms of where they're going to be based, it's difficult. And again, for England, who I'll be focusing on here in Boston tomorrow in a game against Ghana, I think it's imperative for them to win that game, to obviously win the group, because then, depending on other results, but I think it will be key for them. But also, when you look at it, they are going to potentially be playing in Mexico City, Atlanta, Miami in the knockout rounds. They're based themselves in Kansas City. So that's a lot of traveling compared to the US or other teams, Brazil in particular, have done pretty well in terms of the travel, and France and Germany as well. They're kind of all based in sort of the Northeast, the big three cities, Boston, Philly, New York, throughout the knockout rounds, and then maybe head down to Atlanta and Miami for some games, but not too much. And I think it's a great point. This always comes up at every major tournament, especially the last a few World Cups, Brazil, Russia, not so much Qatar because it was all very close together. But this World Cup in particular, when you get out in the group stage in the knockout rounds, the group stage has obviously been set up to have teams in very specific areas of North America, even if they're traveling across the border to Canada and Mexico from the US and vice versa. They aren't doing much traveling, really. But when we start to get to the knockout rounds, there are clear paths that open up for the US and Mexico as well. They would play, they're going to play their first round of 32 game in Mexico, and if they get through, round of 16 gamers as well. So that's helpful for them too. So yeah, a couple of teams have done pretty well in terms of being in the groups that they're in. And that's a huge advantage. All right, plenty more comments coming in terms of why do teams not man mark Messi everywhere he goes? Don't let him touch the ball, play 10 against 10. It's a great point. And if I'm honest, I think teams probably do try to do it, but he's that good in terms of just opening up space. And I think what I was saying earlier to Nick is that it is the perfect setup from Argentina now that they have so many players who are doing the running for Messi. They are running in behind, opening up space for him to get into. And I think now this is the perfect setup that probably they haven't had for many years, up until recent Copa America and World Cup success, to get the best out of him in the areas. And they were asking him to do too much. And at the moment, as we saw from this first half against Austria, they're just asking him to stay in and around the box, buzz around the final third, do the business when the ball comes to you. Obviously missed the penalty kick, but other than that, caused chaos with some of the flicks, and had a couple of big chances, some great last-ditch defending from Austria. Otherwise, he would have had another hat-trick already. But you're right. I mean, it's a tactic that has kind of gone out of the game, to be honest. You don't see man marking happening a lot. It used to, probably, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago now, probably was a lot more seen. But there's some great players who can do it. If I'm thinking out there, I guess for Argentina, somebody like Lisandro Martinez, Romero could step out a centre-back and play that role. Moises Caicedo for Ecuador would be a great person to do that. Even Declan Rice for England, I think obviously he's good on the ball, but if you had someone like him swarming all over you every time you got on the ball, you wouldn't be happy. So maybe teams will do it in the latter stages and kind of have that man marking plan, because as we're seeing right now in this World Cup, you can't really stop Messi. It's, you got to try something different, right? Because at the moment he's absolutely running away with it. But really good comment there. Really love that, because I think I love an old school man marking system, but it seems to have gone out the game a little bit. Okay, Gordo says, I think I prefer goal difference as it takes into account how well the teams did against the whole group. Yeah, that's, again, it's different ways to do it. I think for this tournament, it kind of made sense to do the head-to-head, but I don't think it's really worked out as some of the games we thought that would be key in terms of determining which team goes through as the winners or runners-up so far. So, yeah, lots of different ways to do it. But I think the beauty of this tournament, again, has showed us that the revamp was needed, and that adding an extra 16 teams hasn't actually decreased the quality. So I think that's been a huge takeaway for me so far at this tournament. All right, well, thanks so much for all the comments and questions. Keep them coming in. Thanks for joining us here at NBC Sports for Argentina against Austria. It's 1-0 to Argentina. And just to recap, Lionel Messi, of course, scored. So he is now the all-time leading goal scorer in World Cup history. But, Mbappe's not far behind. So he could overtake him, and they could have a right scrap for this record throughout this tournament. So that would be quite something to see, especially if they square off again later in this tournament. Just to, again, let you know while the second half is about to kick off, you can watch this game in Spanish on Telemundo and on Peacock. As you can see there, all-time leading goal scorers, a wonderful producer FA has put up on the screen there. Messi, 17. Close to 16. Ronaldo, OG Ronaldo, Brazilian Ronaldo, has got 15. Yeah, and Mbappe is not far behind Messi now at all after those couple of goals for France, who are, of course, playing today. But to remind you, Telemundo and Peacock in Spanish is where you can watch the game. You've got the in the comments there, you've got a link to watch it. You can watch it in Fox in English in the USA as well. As Argentina against Austria, the second half of that is about to kick off in Dallas. And this is going to be a really fun second half, I think, because it's not all done. Austria showed enough in that first half, as Nick and I were saying, that they can cause problems from set-piece situations on the counter-attack. And I think so far they'll be happy enough that they're only 1-0 down, but that just goes to show how great Argentina and Messi are, because they are looking very, very comfortable with how things have played out in Dallas so far. So look ahead to some of the other games coming up today in the World Cup. If we go ahead, and obviously 45 minutes left here, but we have next up is France against Iraq, which is a huge game for France. Obviously, after that much better second half in their opening game against Senegal to win that. And then we have Norway against Senegal in that same Group I, which is going to be really fun as well to watch. So plenty more coming up from the World Cup today, and we'll keep you covered on Pro Soccer Talk on NBCSports.com. And Nick's joined us back here just as the start of the second half is about to kick off. Nick, we were just talking about some of the different format changes, some great comments about man marking, and why don't teams just man mark Messi and go 10 against 10 essentially. I was saying that's kind of an art that's gone out of the game. You don't see many teams actually do that anymore with man marking. So yeah, interesting thoughts there. I feel like if you tried to man mark Messi, it would still be very tough to shut him down, and maybe they are trying it.
Well, part of it is who do you entrust with that? They have to have a certain strength of defensive skill. They also have to have a mental bandwidth that I don't think most people come equipped with, because you might be walking around, you might be following them all over the pitch, you're trying to stay away from the play. And also, there's a reason that players like him are viewed as a genius. They are seeing things that you don't see. But yeah, man marking, I mean, I can remember, as someone who was never that good at the actual soccer part of soccer, as being someone who has man marked someone. And I just think it takes you out of the game. It takes an influential player out of the game in the hopes of stopping someone who your entire team has identified as the best guy.
Oh, it's tough. Yeah, it's tough. I would be a man marker at times as a defender when I played back in the day, and it's intense, and you have to go against a lot of your instincts at times to join in the actual play, because you have to be so worried and concerned about the player that you are man marking, and just expect the worst to happen all the time and just constantly be trying to shut it down. So yeah, it's an interesting skill and sort of anti-football in a lot of way. But yeah, it's one tactic. I mean, again, as we're seeing Messi come out onto the pitch for the second half, looking pretty relaxed about everything, as always.
Turning 39 on Wednesday.
Not a bad way to celebrate your birthday, is it? Becoming the all-time leading goal scorer in World Cup history.
Joe, looking ahead for him, not forget the World Cup, but regardless of what happens, does he strike you as a player, especially being in MLS? And I know he's talked about going back to Newell's Old Boys. He strikes me as someone who isn't just going to quit for the sake of it. You're someone, he's going to have to see himself slow down, isn't he?
At some point, I don't know. This is really difficult.
He's not going to call time when he's still near the peak of a power, right?
No, I think he's gonna. Yeah, I don't know, because if he wins the World Cup here again, I think this is the end of his international career after this tournament.
Yes,
maybe?
I would agree with that. Yeah.
And then, I think he's having too much fun playing. It still looks like he doesn't look like a guy who's like, oh, this is Austria on the break early in the second half. Should have had a shot. Oh, that was really dangerous. Only 40 seconds into the second half there, Nick. Austria built up on the right side of the box, cut it back. Bit of an air shot, or someone got a shout to leave it, I think, and then the shot was blocked. But Austria coming back down the right side again. Cross is about to come in. Edge of the box, Conrad Lima, or a little shank shot, and Argentina clear. But statement of intent in the first 45 seconds to a minute of the second half there from Austria that, they could be a little bit more in this game than we think.
Yeah. Just to go back to our last conversation, devil's advocate here for all the Messi fans listening. Just turns 39, 43 at the next tournament. There is going to be a match in Argentina. Remember, the first 3 matches of that tournament are going to be in Argentina, Paraguay, and Uruguay to mark the centennial of the tournament. As Martinez claims the ball out of the air from across. And then it'll go to Morocco, Portugal, and Spain, where he has a little bit of history. Yeah.
Maybe he sticks around.
Or maybe he's just like the commissioner of soccer at that point.
Yeah. I think he pretty much is at this point, right? As well, whatever he wants to do. Some more comments here again. Great comments on the whole man marking debate. And again, I get why it has fallen out of favor, because it is just so hard to match that around the pitch for 90 minutes. And I think, especially with the pace and speed of this game in the modern day, the way it's going, it's so hard. As Messi goes down actually with a clip on the ankle. So a bit of tight man marking, tackling there from Austria to try and stop him. And that's hacking him down is the only way you can stop him right now, as he jinxed away and was already on the next chapter of the book of the game before the
Joe, I don't remember. I've known you for quite a while, and I do know that you did plenty of holding mid and a little bit of defending in college. So maybe that's what you're talking about, the man marking. I think that the sort of focus on one player in the final third still happens, and that is interesting. But what makes it so tricky for Argentina, and I'm kind of asking to be put in your – again, when I played, I was a striker and not a very good one, is to follow a player all over the pitch, even when the ball's in your third or in the other team's third, and you're kind of like, all right, well, what's my role in this?
Yeah.
The build-up with the ball has become such an important thing that when you're man marking, it's got to be tricky to play a role in your offense's possession, your attack's possession, while also keeping in mind that the minute you're turned over, you got to go find the best player on the other team.
Yeah, I think it's all just about positioning and just putting yourself in the best position to try and get on the ball if you can, but at the same time, knowing you're never going to be, probably, if you can help it, 5 yards away from the guy that you are man marking. So it's hard. It's a hard balancing act. And I don't think anybody would really want to man mark Messi. I'm trying
to Gary Medel. You need the hatchet man.
Caicedo would be great, I think.
Oh my goodness!
In the modern game, so maybe Ecuador, Argentina, we see that in the knockout rounds, and that's something they all try and do to shut him down. As Argentina are getting on the ball, spraying it out wide. The pull's in. I think you keep it in, clip the ball in, but Austria clear it. Goes to the right side.
Small sample size, Joe, but I'm sure you've been reading some of the stuff about how Africa and South America so far are having real moments at this World Cup. Obviously, the host nation and some of the CONCACAF teams as well. Have you sensed? Granted, there have been some indoor games, but have you sensed that weather has played any sort of role, or the travel has played? Because it is an immense country we traverse for some of these games.
No, it is. Oh, and Argentina are through. Oh, great tackle there. Is that Messi? Was he offside?
Yeah, I think he might have been off too.
He was, but a big ball. I think luckily for the competition so far, it seems like the weather conditions have been pretty fair and pretty relaxed in terms of how hot it could have been.
Yeah.
So I feel like maybe the tournament has got a bit lucky in that regard. That hasn't become a bigger storyline. So yeah, that from pure luck, I think at the moment hasn't had an impact. But I think, yeah, for players who play in Europe most of their careers and all the rest of it, this would be a lot for them, to the distances to travel. I mean, we talk about this a lot in England. It's kind of like you'll travel an hour and a half to a game, and that's seen as a big deal sometimes. Yeah. So the fact that then you'll be getting on a flight 4 hours plus across multiple countries, potentially, I think for the European nations, it's a lot harder to adapt than maybe some other regions. So, yeah, I love it. I think we've seen teams from each region, though, in terms of Africa, South America, Europe. Everyone's kind of contributed to this World Cup. It's been a true World Cup in that sense. Asia, all the rest of it. I think if you look at all the continents around the world, they've all had teams that have stepped up in big moments and got some big wins and, created some great memories. So it feels like a very even, spread out World Cup in that regard. So, but maybe when we get to the knockout rounds and it gets a bit warmer in July, teams have traveled a bit more depending on the bracket and how it played out for them in the knockout rounds with travel. I think that's when we'll start to see it. As Messi's gone down and won a free kick, right, Nick?
Little smirk at his mark who took him down, and I can't remember. Can't tell if that's a smirk of like, yeah, I got you, or a what are you gonna do, man? You took me down.
And he's got a free kick about 40 yards out, which 35-ish, but
a little much.
Have a shot from there, right?
Yeah, unless he's going to turn into peak Roberto Carlos. But I will say that I was surprised. Canada, they played their first game in Toronto. Their next two in Vancouver. So even a host nation has had to travel. The U.S. has not had to travel as much. But I did. So I'm going to name drop here. In Philadelphia, I did run into NBC Sports pal Lee Dixon, and I was talking to some of his crew. They were all English. They had been in Dallas, and they noted the weather. So maybe some of the average travelers are being caught off guard, but it doesn't seem like the players have been yet.
No, I think as well, a lot of these teams that were coming to North America, they've been here for a while now and trained in, much warmer climates. England in particular were in Florida for, 10 days beforehand and are well prepared. But yeah, again, I think having a huge squad that all can contribute is going to go a long, long way, because we think about how mammoth the World Cup usually is. And then, you have another knockout round, intense game added into it this time. Just goes to show if you're France, England, Spain, Argentina, Brazil, you need to go to the depths of your squad if you want to go far in this tournament. And at the moment, it looks like Argentina's going to go far and they'll be cruising into the knockout rounds.
It's probably my one worry of what could catch up for the U.S., even if they have a favorable draw, is and maybe that changes after the Turkey A game, but yet to feel like Pochettino is super comfortable with his depth. We saw him try so many players out over the last couple of years, but now that the chips are down, it is Pulisic, McKennie, Adams, Richards. These are my guys, and you're not coming out unless you're hurt.
Yeah. What do you think about that game on Thursday and how they should? Obviously, the guys who are on yellow cards
don't play. Yep. See ya.
Don't play them, right? Because it wipes out after the group stage. It resets. So why would you risk losing? Adams, Richards, all those key players we mentioned.
I would play Pulisic for the first half if he's ready, because
I've
thought but I've thought about this a lot, and there's that argument of bringing it on for the last half hour. I think there is something to be said for routine, and I want him going through the pre-match ritual. I want him going through exactly how it's going to look. And there's no way I would rest him unless there's a real question of his health. I don't want my best player going to a little over 2 weeks without a game.
Yeah, that's fair enough. As you see, Austria, a dangerous free kick. Oh, and a great save by Emi Martinez there. Was it Sabitzer curled it in towards the back post? And the Aston Villa and Argentina goalkeeper pushes it away acrobatically. Maybe one for the cameras there a little bit, Nick.
Him? No.
Maybe not. Oh, long throw from Austria. Flicked in. Oh, Argentina clear, but Austria having a go here a little bit as we approach the hour mark. And again, we're going to see Arnautovic soon, I'm sure. And there he is, right on cue, with his bleach blonde hairdo on the side of the pitch, just going through a little warm-up. But yeah, Argentina, I guess now you're starting to think, just over half hour to go, how much longer can we keep Messi on the pitch? And is it time to bring on Julian Alvarez maybe to make the most?
I would already taken him off. I'm surprised he came back out after halftime.
Yeah. It feels like once we get to the 65th minute, if Messi isn't off the pitch, I'd be very surprised by this. But
Joe, back-to-back days, tonight and tomorrow, I think 2 big games. I'm going to cue you up for at least the second one because you have a great interest in it. But the 2 most interesting games over the next 2 days, to me, Norway, Senegal, especially because Erling Haaland, Martin Odegaard in Norway will probably be thinking about goal difference and all of that after watching France, let's be honest, probably dissect a rock. And Senegal, a very talented team, consider themselves champions of Africa, despite some what happened at AFCON. So, and they're desperate, having lost to France. So that is game 1. And then game 2, about 20 hours later, England navigated what many people thought would be their trickiest test in Croatia. But after watching them give up a couple goals, is there a little bit more to be said about what Ghana may pose as a threat to them? So those 2 games, and I know you'll be there for England at the World Cup, and obviously born and raised in England. I'm just wondering where your thought process is.
Yeah, for England, I think it's going to be really tough against Ghana. In terms of, it's a Carlos Queiroz side who is known to be the ultimate sort of defense-first coach and sets them up. I think the Ghanaian squad is really quite happy to do that and defend. And when you've got someone like Semenyo who can launch counter-attacks, that's sort of the X factor there. And I think from that Croatia game, we saw England give up a lot of counter-attacks. And I think that's, like France, is one of the key issues with them defensively about going deep at this World Cup. It's, hey, can you limit these chances? So, yeah, in Boston here tomorrow night, I think England will basically look to get off to the quickest start they can. Look to pick up for that second half intensity against Croatia, which should make it an exciting game because I think they will leave the door open at the other end of the pitch. But I think England will again be looking to, let's put this game to bed as early as possible, go 2-0 up, then we can make a lot of subs at half-time just to kind of rest players a little bit. Again, that's an ideal situation. But in terms of, where that leaves them in the group, just get the job done. And then when you go to play Panama and New York City later in the week, you are pretty relaxed about the situation. And again, you can make a lot of changes to the lineup and rotate it. In terms of Norway, I think they are a legit dark horse in this tournament. I think we talked about this, right? Odegaard and Haaland, the X Factor, just Noosa, Bob, some of the other guys, Sorloth. These are quality players who are playing in big teams around Europe, and the defensive solidity is there. I think Norway's a team that isn't really going to try and do anything that they can't do. They'll just be, doing the simple things well at the back, and then they've got enough quality, like I mentioned, all those names. And then they know, again, the X factor for them is if we get crosses into the box, Haaland's going to find a way to not finish it himself, cause chaos for someone else to be there. And look, they finished ahead of Italy in qualifying, and it's not a vintage Italian team, but still a very good team to finish ahead of in World Cup qualifying, and they've been so consistent for a while now, Norway. So, I'm personally looking forward to going to the game in Boston here against France later this week as well. And I think that will be a great scrap in terms of Mbappe at one end of the pitch and Haaland at the other. I hope they both start, given the situation. I'm sure they will. But those are my thoughts there, Nick, on those two teams. And I think, we got some comments here in the comments section saying I think if Norway, Senegal advances as third place teams, they still have a real good chance of making the round of 16. You don't want to play either of those two teams, do you, if you're a group winner?
No, I think with Norway, they scare me more in the sense of I don't want to say that the anti-Austria, because I have no fear about them in terms of, I know they're good at every position, but they have game breakers at every level as well. I'm not totally the Sevilla keeper, right? But like in terms of at the back,
yes,
and then getting into, I mean, just Odegaard and Haaland on any team in the world are going to produce chances,
yes,
regardless of the other guys around them, and they certainly do have guys around them.
Does Norway have depth? That's a question coming in. It's decent. It's not as good as obviously the top teams, but Argentina on the counter here, cutting inside. Lautaro with a shot blocked by Kevin Danzo. He's gone down, like he got a whack, I don't know, in the face or the chest, kind of winded him.
Yeah. So for Norway, I will be. I think the game against Senegal is going to tell us a lot because, and again, I know it's just one game. I'm not discounting Sweden now, but we saw how they looked in their opener, and then we saw them against the Netherlands. You can have a really impressive result and just out talent someone. Norway's going to out talent Iraq 10 times out of 10. So that's one of the reasons I've kind of circled this game. Like, Senegal are a dangerous team. And they will be.
I'm watching Senegal play,
and they need. I mean, they need they will feel like they're going to be
desperate. They'll
feel like they need 3.
Are we making some subs here for Argentina? Julian Alvarez and Nico Gonzalez are coming on. They're ready to come on.
Maybe Messi and McAllister. Let's see what they got. That's some sort of 9 there.
They're not bad. All right, they're playing on for now, Argentina. Maybe give Messi one more chance before he's whipped off, as we expect. But yeah, some great questions coming in here about not just these two teams on the pitch, and that's what these watch-alongs are all about. Nick and I are here to answer your questions about the World Cup. And like I said, we've been lucky enough to go to these games in person, and I'll be going tomorrow to England, Ghana. So yeah, we have lots of great content up on NBCSports.com with features, analysis, painting a picture of what it's like to be around these great moments of fans and teams all coming together and enjoying the celebrations from around the world. So yeah, it's been a really fun World Cup from that perspective as well.
Norway do have a trio of center forwards that most teams would probably harm people for, because Haaland, Sorloth, and then Strand Larsen.
Yeah,
like that's your third dude.
Not bad. Not bad. Yeah, not bad at all. And all very similar kind of players as well in terms of like the stature, and I think from a style of play that's very helpful.
Monster squad.
Austrian player's gone down there defending a cross. Not sure.
Worn his cup. That's what I have to say.
What's that?
He should have worn his cup.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Maybe in the old unmentionables. So yeah. Ooh. Magic spray isn't going to help with that.
Yeah.
Just take a second, son. Take a second.
There's
the subs. We are taking a second here for subs. So who we got coming off?
S and Alvarez and Nico Gonzalez.
Okay.
And is that Molina? No.
Almada?
Yeah.
Oh,
Almada. And Martinez. Messi is staying on.
Messi's staying on. Maybe at this point they're like, might not play him in the third group stage game.
That's a good point, yeah.
Just get the job done here.
It's a directive from Gianni Infantino. He doesn't come out.
Potentially. He is that important. But yeah, it's still evenly poised here with 25 minutes to go. It's Argentina 1, Austria 0, as Argentina on the edge of the box. Oh, look who it is. It's Messi popping up again. Scuffs a shot that almost was sneaking in towards. I don't think it was going to sneak on target.
No.
And what? I thought that was a corner, right? Schlager got a touch on it, and but the referee's not. It's given a goal kick. But yeah, Messi couldn't quite find the angle there. Oh, goalkeeper clearly touches it. Should be a corner.
Hey, worth noting, I did not track.
Oh, maybe offside. Okay.
Because I thought Messi had already captured this record, but he is still tied with Maradona for the most career assists at a World Cup.
Oh, okay. Another one for him to.
So maybe that's part of it.
Where do you think he keeps all his trophies? I mean, that's,
he's got to have a. I mean,
he's got like a wing in his house in his mansion. This is
a museum, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't Ronaldo have his own museum?
Oh yeah,
Cristiano Ronaldo, yeah.
yeah.
He's got his own private island of Madeira. No.
Yeah. Statues galore.
Where did that famous statue of his face wind up? Does he commandeer that? Does it become something that a collector wants? Remember the one where doesn't quite look like him?
Yeah, I'm not sure where that was. Was that in Madeira at the airport, maybe? I'm not sure.
Remember, he was not impressed with it.
Yeah, they named the airport after him, or renamed it. So, yeah. Let us know in the comments your favorite soccer statues over the years. It's been quite a few. Okay, Austria hanging in there though, Nick. 25 minutes to go. Guess we're going to have a hydration break soon. But they'll be like, they'll be okay with where they're at right now in this game as they attack down the middle, spring it out to the right. Bit of a loose ball. But they're just waiting for the moment here, Austria. And again, obviously got all their subs left to use, but you would think we're going to see Marko Arnautovic very soon. They come down the left side into the box. Cross is going to come over here. It's at the back stick. Oh, and Gregoric heads it over. And that's a decent chance there for Austria. And he's pretty good in the air. So I think he'll be a bit disappointed with that as they make a couple of subs now. And Big Marko is coming on, Nick.
Joe, I think really interesting question from Gordo6366. Do you have a favorite World Cup anthem? Is there one that resonates for you?
Waka Waka.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, it's got to be, I think, for me. What about you?
Very good. Waving Flag was mentioned. That is a very, very good one.
Both bangers. Yeah.
To People of a Generation, the Ricky Martin Cup of Life, La Copa de la Vida.
Oh, yes.
But, yeah, I'm just learning that the one I thought was an official World Cup song was not.
Which one?
When I was in high school, we had a World Cup soundtrack CD. This was a format of music, you young people. And it had some great songs on it, but it had the original Ole, 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 Ole. And we all thought that, to me, I know that's not an official World Cup song, so I'm cheating. That speaks to me in terms of songs that make me think of the tournament.
Yeah, and there was also France '98. I'm not sure what the official song was there, but it was the soundtrack for that World Cup. That song will stick in your head forever, and that to me is what the World Cup's all about. So
good question.
It was like, I'm not going to sing the song, but just look it up. '98 World Cup. Waving Flag is not an official World Cup song. Waka Waka, I thought is excellent.
It is, yeah. You could not escape Waving Flag. I can't believe that's not a.
And what was Shakira obviously was singing the song as well for this World Cup. So and just everywhere popping up all over the place. Oh, we're seeing replays of Messi's goal, which is the difference as we're into the hydration break in the second half. So just over 20 minutes to go in Dallas. It's Argentina 1, Austria 0.
I was really concerned these players were looking dehydrated, so it's a good thing. It's a good thing they're having this break.
Oh yeah, we had a question right about hydration break. Have we had any games that actually deserved a hydration break due to the heat?
Sure. I don't know. They're coming. I will tell you that. Like it's certainly they're coming.
They're coming. Again, in the indoor stadiums like this one in Dallas, and you've got Houston and Atlanta. You're never going to have that, really. It's going to be a nice, 82 probably, something like that inside those. I guess the US might be involved in some of them. SoFi's inside as well, right? So maybe not, but like in Seattle or San Francisco, their games coming up in the knockout rounds, because obviously the US is going to have a lot of games in the knockout rounds.
KC could get brutal.
Yeah, for quarterfinal, which could see Argentina and Messi go back there, I believe, if the bracket lines up. So,
So I won't defend the idea, Joe.
Miami, I guess.
Miami for sure, yeah.
There's some games in the latter stages of the tournament that are going to be in Miami. I think that's an obvious one.
I do think that while this wasn't the spirit of it, the side benefit would be if anyone's going to have a hydration break, it's much like the tactical goalkeeper faked injuries in club soccer, where you're talking about a group where players are going to be measured, nations are going to be measured against each other. And I can see a manager saying, well, look, I don't like the hydration break, but if they get one, then we need to get one because I want to talk to my guys after 23 minutes. So I wonder if there was a little bit of necessary evil here.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, it is great seeing the memes of managers try. Was it Pochettino with the laptop out at one point just before the World Cup during the hydration break, and just what people are having a bit of fun with in terms of this whole newness of the hydration break. But yeah, we're just 20 minutes to go in Dallas, and Austria have made a triple sub. So we have Friedel, Prass, and Arnautovic, not Brad Friedel, by the way, Marco Friedel. As the Argentina fans are going wild in Dallas, dancing around.
Yeah, hold them down. There's a guy. Yeah,
on the edge of the kind of block there, right? That was
he had his friend holding onto his leg, and I want to applaud her. Yeah.
Yeah, wow. But yeah, Austria have made their changes, Nick. So what's that going to do? I mean, Arnautovic, he's towards the latter stages of his career, but he's got pedigree, he's got experience. He's a guy who knows how to finish when he gets a chance there. So I guess for Austria, it is all about trying to get the ball in the final third and then get Arnautovic on some knockdowns or a bit of space in the box. That's what they're going to play for here.
Yeah, I'm trying to judge whether I think it is Argentina's defensive setup, obviously kept a clean sheet in the first game, or if it's just that Austria haven't had answers in the final third. And it probably depends how optimistic or pessimistic you are as an Austrian fan in general. But only seen kind of a handful of Emiliano Martinez moments. And,
yes,
if you want to embrace your dark horse status, you got to manufacture even against teams like Argentina.
And Argentina have a corner here on the left. Messi is going across to take it. So there's a chance here, Nick, for him to get that assist record, right? Or equal it, you said?
To break it. He's tied with Maradona on 8 World Cup assists.
All right, he whips in the corner. Comes. Oh, and he nearly did, because who was that there? Was that Nico Gonzalez, the sub coming in? Pretty much a free header on the edge of the 6-yard box. Austria got it all wrong from a marking perspective, and he just flicked the header wide of the far post. But that was a great opportunity there for Argentina to make it 2-0 and wrap this up.
It doesn't particularly feel like there's a real threat right now, but the longer you leave a game at 1-0, and of course, when it's 2-0, we call it the most dangerous lead in sports, blah, blah, blah. But, the puncher's chance is here, right? And
this is not bad in terms of a spectacle here. For neutrals, anyway, like us, this is brilliant to see with 15 minutes to go. It's very tight. And yeah, Nico Gonzalez just going close there for Argentina to make it 2-0. Great corner, by the way, Messi. He can play that, lad.
Yeah, he's got a future in the game. The U.S., by the way, winning the group means almost exclusively West Coast the rest of the way, which is, if you're on the East Coast like me, maybe a little bit of a bummer, maybe a little bit of staying up late that you don't plan on, but it's really great for them. Again, other teams are going to traverse this country. We know they're going to be in private jets and all that, but it's still long trips that they're not used to. And one of the, you acclimate to a country as Austria breaks down the right side. Is that Limer still?
Yeah, here they come again into the box. Maybe is it going out for a corner? No, they just about kept it in, Argentina. But yeah, again, what we've seen of Austria kind of underlines what we said before, right? They're going to be, if they finish third in this group, whatever, you do not want to be playing them as a group winner, because they are stodgy, to use a word I like to use. Very, very stodgy.
They feel like a team that would be super happy to play 120 minutes and beach in penalties.
Oh, yeah. Trying to think of a Premier League equivalent here, but this is Very much like Stoke.
David Moyes, Everton.
Yeah, and very much like Stoke back in the day under Tony Pulis, it feels like.
Where's John Walters?
Yeah. I mean, on
Ryan Shawcross.
Yeah.
Jeff Cameron for our Americans friends.
Oh, I think he just left something on him there.
Yep.
It's all kicking off a little bit. A couple of yellow cards being flashed to players on both sides.
Got one as well.
Yeah, what's all that about? Referees.
Did he say something?
I'm not sure. Not sure what's happening here. Looks like Nico Gonzalez has gone down. Lima's right there. And then someone's come in late on Lima. He's kind of squared up to him. He's gone down very easily, shall I say, under a shove from Medina. It looks like maybe Medina and Lima were the two who got the yellow cards in the end, Nick.
Funky cold Medina.
Yeah. Yeah, it was Medina who got the yellow. Just over 10 minutes to go of regulation plus stoppage time to come in Texas. But 1-0 to Argentina. Austria are more than holding their own here. And again, still surprised that Messi's out there. But
I am too. Yeah. Question from Flying Lion 17. How would Argentina play down a goal if Messi doesn't press? Well, the thing is, most of the time they're still having a good bit of possession, right? And so what would be interesting is, does it just turn into a track meet? I mean, think back to the last World Cup final. I don't know. I can't remember how the order of goals went, but it was obviously quite a game with quite a bit. Was the final score 3-3 then penalties, or was it?
Yes. Yes.
Penalties. Yeah.
Yes.
But I think Argentina, at any time where they're trailing or the game is in question, they are happy to just trade chance for chance because they got big Emi Martinez.
Yes, it's true. At the moment, it feels like he's going to have to maybe make a couple of saves here because Austria are just keeping the ball well midfield. Argentina is sat back deep. Oh, but Argentina just won it back. And this is where they're going to look to spring these counterattacks now with Julian Alvarez. Messi's keeping the ball. Experience play. But yeah, I think if you're Argentina, it's been very professional in this World Cup, right? I mean, Messi has lit up the World Cup with a couple of big moments there. But other than that, workmanlike again.
So I'm impressed because the reason it becomes so hard to repeat or be great in consecutive World Cups is we've seen so many teams have the fire. I don't want to say have the fire go out, but it's dimmed a little. And you're playing against, again, we mentioned this prior to the tournament. Everybody out there, there's no player in this tournament who thinks it's just another game, right? It's the pinnacle of everyone's career. And what's interesting, think back to that magnificent Spain run of, was it 06, 08, 10 or 08, 10, 12, where they, Euros and World Cups.
Ooh.
Kept it in.
Martinez got a whack in the head there from Arnautovic, I think, because he was just collecting the ball.
He certainly won't make much of it either.
Yeah. Oh. Lima's been popping up in some great positions, by the way. Anyway, go ahead about Spain.
No, I just about Spain and Argentina as well, because they've put the Copas around the World Cup as well. I don't know. I'm curious. Whenever a team can keep the wisdom and the fire burning, how many times do we talk about it with Man City in the Premier League, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you still have to want it more. You have to want it as much as Pep does.
Yeah. That's hard.
It is.
We've got some other questions here. Oh, yeah, more on the temperature. San Francisco. Santa Clara, where the games are being held, is much warmer. I can attest to that. I worked there once at a game, and I had a full three-piece suit on in San Francisco. Lovely 60-degree day. By the time I got out of my car, 45 minutes later, about 30 miles south in Santa Clara, it was 95 degrees and was not a day to be wearing a suit, but you can't do much about it then. I have personal experience of that. So I think, in Santa Clara, where the games are being played in the San Francisco Bay Area, a warmer climate will be something that the US may have to contend with there.
The Santa Clara diet, you probably lost some weight.
Yeah, it was good. Giuliano Simeone should replace DePaul now. What do you think about that?
I mean, DePaul is such a handful and someone who is living in their heads. If he's got the juice, I keep him out there. It's maybe a Weston McKennie situation to make an American comparison. The second time I mentioned Gary Medel.
Austria, long ball forward. Oh, that's what they're waiting to do, Nick. Sorry to...
No, please.
Medina there with a great last-ditch tackle for Argentina as a long old ball was played forward. Gregoric nods it down, controls it on his chest, actually, and then tries to flick it through. I couldn't see who that was there. There was an Austrian player just about to get on it. And, it was Wimmer who just come on. And Medina... great last-ditch tackle there to clear it away. But that's what we're talking about, Austria. That's why Arnautovic is on the pitch for those knockdowns from Gregoric.
Tottenham Hotspur legend, Kevin Wimmer.
Yeah. And I think it might be another Wimmer.
Is it?
Patrick Wimmer, yes.
Okay. Wimmer, chicken dimmer.
But I was going to say they're all Wimmers in my book. So this is... interesting. They made a couple of subs, and DePaul has come off there.
Messi not interested in coming off.
Yeah, he's not coming off, right? Because
maybe you're right. Maybe the plan was always to, to not play the third game if necessary.
Paredes and Tagliafico are on for DePaul and Medina. After that clearance there, that was his last act. So
yeah, he appeared to be nursing some sort of cramp. I initially booked it as time wasting, but maybe not. Maybe I'm cynical, Joe. Maybe I'm cynical.
No, I mean, it's okay. Maybe you should get some pickle juice, right? That worked for the referee the other day, I think, in the US game. That's what they said he had. Long ball forward. Nothing happening there for Argentina. And yeah, it was 7 minutes and change left here. Austria's got a fighting chance. They're going to launch a lot of long balls into the box. Haven't seen much of Messi, I guess, in the second half, right? He got hacked a couple of times in and around the box. But when we start looking at the stats, again, not to praise Austria too much because they're down, but I don't know what more they could have really done in this game, Nick, to keep Argentina largely at bay.
Yeah, I mean, at halftime we were talking about how it was 1-0, and that included a missed Messi penalty. The second half has been very, very even, and I'm going to pull up maybe some advanced stats here to try and separate the two. But
let's do it.
Maybe Argentina are also a little bit comfortable with that too. It's a situation. So for the game, shots are 6-5 for Argentina. In the second half, shots are 3-3, and Austria have been limited to 0.18 expected goals and 6 touches in the opposition box. Now, I'm sure Argentina didn't come here to not try to put this game away, but if the plan was, hey, we don't see enough man beaters on their team to find copious chances, then let's just keep the game in front of us. And that's large. If that's the plan, that is largely what they've done.
Shut up shop, as we would say in England. That's
Shut up shop. Yes.
Get those shutters up. So Austria, though, again, building out wide. We know what they're going to do here. They're just trying to look for those opportunities for one of those attacking midfielders to whip it in. And Arnautovic there, you can see him in pockets of space and pointing for the ball to go out wide. Very clear plan here from the Austrians. But Argentina, the intensity has been great from a defensive point of view. For as many great attacking creative players they have, they just work so hard. I mean, again, they know how to do it. They knew what it took to win the World Cup in Qatar last time out. So the intensity of Argentina's play throughout today has really impressed me in terms of what they've had to do to get to this point, right, in this game. They're not above working their socks off here.
A little notable to me that when Romero went out with a minor injury, that Otamendi replaces him. And you have to think that will be a concern after the game because I love Otamendi. I thought he was probably underrated at Man City. But you don't with respect to Tim Ream, you do not want a 38-year-old trying to win you a World Cup final.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Argentina get a rare break here down the right flank. Chipped it out there. They're just going to play this again. 4 minutes plus stoppage time to go in Dallas. Argentina 1, Austria 0. But yeah, good point. I guess the squad depth for Argentina is decent, but probably not defensively. That's where they might have a few issues, or they do pick up some injuries or suspensions during this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, Tagliafico is 33. He subbed into the game as well. You have Montiel, who is a little bit younger, but is a right back, obviously. Senesi, I guess maybe that's a little bit surprising that it was Otamendi and not him called upon, but maybe the idea was for Senesi to start the third game.
Maybe, yeah. And he was a late call-up for the squad as well after an injury. So
super interested, yeah.
All over the top for Argentina. Can they clinch it here? Oh, brilliant last-ditch defending from Austria as they managed to clear. I didn't quite see who that was who got in. It may have been Nico Gonzalez again down the left, but long ball over the top. Now Austria coming forward down the left. Can they get the cross in? They have got the cross in to the back post. Arnautovic is there. Argentina clear. Austria keep the ball alive. Again into Arnautovic. Again, Argentina clear. And the ball's popped out wide to the right. Austria got a chance here again to whip in another cross. We know they love to do that. They've got an opportunity again here, Nick. They're being patient, going back out to the left, trying to swing it all the way across the pitch. And they are in this right now. The cross comes in. Arnautovic is lurking, but it's a poor cross. And Argentina hack it clear for a throw-in. But, yeah, with a couple of minutes to go, this is all Austria can do. And I'd say fair play to them for being in a situation to make Argentina sweat a little bit.
Yeah, it's hard not to. They've put in a good performance. The expectations, I don't want to say they were low, but I might tell American fans to, however they feel against Austria. Jeez, Nick, this has been a real problem for me today, Joe. Austria.
They have been back-to-back games for us in terms of doing these watch-alongs, so I get it.
Austria, watching this game, to me, I would, when we talk about what are the Americans' chances of making a deep, deep run, this is put the U.S. in these shoes, like the exact same game, but it's the U.S. against Argentina. You'd be pretty okay with having a puncher's chance this late in it, given what Argentina has done to the U.S. over the years. And what scared me, Joe, was seeing Brazil up close and personal, and when they start to really click into gear. And I know Rafinha got hurt in that game, but I mean, Mateus Cunha was all over the pitch. Guimaraes all over the pitch. One thing that you've seen a lot that I had not seen in person until Friday night was just how big Gabriel is for the Arsenal back. He is even bigger than you expect when you see him. He's a defensive end in the NFL. That guy.
Yeah, big dude. And again, just watching another big defender who was based in North London there, Kevin Danzo, it was him who made the great block from Nico Gonzalez with that big chance over the top, which is Argentina's best chance, aside from the header from Nico Gonzalez from the corner in the second half here. They can't quite get that second goal that they've desperately been pushing for.
Yeah, but this is also the savvy, Joe. We're watching it now. Argentina have been around long enough, right, that they know to try and get that break to try and make it 2-0, but nobody's getting caught up field afterwards. There's a switch in the back of their heads that says, all right, we go back now. We're protecting a 1-0 lead.
Yeah. And it's in the 89 minutes now as the cross is coming in from the left. Overhit. Emi Martinez collects it. What do you reckon? 6 minutes of stoppage time? There hasn't been much.
I think less.
You think less?
Yeah, we haven't seen a lot where it was 5 or less in this tournament.
The hydration break now, I guess, just kind of automatically.
Exactly. The goal was in the first half. There have not been a terrible amount of subs. And remember, the
Julian Alvarez in on the left, cuts inside, edge of the box. Sorry, go ahead.
No, with the 10-second sub rule, there isn't a lot to account for either.
Yeah, that how quickly goal kicks, corner kicks, throw-ins have to be taken.
Which has been great, by the way.
I love that. Yeah, and everyone's pretty much adhered to it. I think we've seen maybe 4
one throw-in I can remember. Yeah,
I think I've seen 4 or 5 maybe corner kicks throughout the entire tournament so far, and that might even be high. But I think that's about right as a guesstimation for how many goal kicks have turned into corner kicks for time wasting. As Nico Gonzalez, he's looked really good on the left when he's come on, by the way. He wins a free kick. And you were right, 5 minutes of stoppage time is the stoppage time here. But Nico Gonzalez has come on, gone close over the top, went close to the header, and yeah, really added a good dimension on the left there. So once again, Argentina just showing their squad depth.
You know, you can't discount passion and stakes and intensity, because we've been drawn into this game, and a lot of you folks who are in the comments who've been watching it with us, it's been enjoyable to watch because you know what it means. But there have been similar club games that we've watched like this where the stakes aren't high, where we might say, I wanted more from that. Yeah. But the intensity of the World Cup itself and what it means to everyone out there, it's not really something that you can replace on a cold night in Stoke.
No, and it's a relatively humid Monday in Dallas. So this is good comment coming in here. Austria have been really impressive today with their intensity and physicality. They haven't let a team like Argentina settle into the game. And again, this is what's been great about this World Cup. I think all the big boys, even though they're the favorites, etc., it's not an easy ride. That like group of teams that are ranked, I don't know, 12 to 25th in the world, with the US, Mexico, Canada included in that, they've improved. They have decent depth, and they're not scared or afraid, because a team, again, like Austria, the last 2 Euros have gotten to the knockout rounds, and you can see that experience building from a lot of the players who helped them do that. So, again, very even World Cup. Again, said earlier, a couple of blowout wins here and there, but not many. I think that was the big question mark for me ahead of this tournament. But that's why I love the new format change to 48 teams, and I think it's worked really well, and has given so many other teams a chance to showcase themselves as Austria try and launch another ball into the box high.
Yeah, look, we've seen 9. This is the 9th group to start its second match day. Yeah, and Argentina looking to become just the 4th team to win both their games, along with Germany, Mexico, and the U.S. So, yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised at the depth of the field. I thought we would. We saw the Germany blowout. That was a brilliant performance. But we've seen Curacao bounce back from that. The Qatar blowout was self-induced with 2 red cards. So, yeah, I've been pleasant.
Oh, decent chance there for Austria. Free kick. Is it Danzo headed it back across, and Wimmer got his head to it, but flicked it just wide. But again, that's the kind of opportunity they've been working hard to get. Wimmer the ball was hung up in the air there, Nick. It's really hard to generate power on that when it's just looped up. So
it's a pretty good header to send it to the back.
Yeah, like that. And I think what you need in that situation, and why they showed Ralf Rangnick, the Austrian coach, there holding his head, is that you would expect somebody else to be crashing at the back post there and kind of read that situation. But as Austria come forward again down the left, cross is going to come into the box here.
No runners. You can see the exasperation.
Oh, here it comes in on the ball's been kept by Austria again on the left. It's going to be a cross coming into the box. Oh, and it's been cleared, and now Messi's on the ball inside the Argentine, deep in the Austria. Great ball across. Is that Julian Alvarez is on it? Oh, great save by Schlager. Back to Messi. Messi's on it in the box. Oh, his shot saved. Oh, he scored. Messi scored. Somehow the ball kept ricocheting back to him, and he's made it 2-0 right at the end. Argentina, Messi, 2, Austria 0. And that is game, set, and match, Nick Mandola. Great scenes. That was crazy, right? The ball just kept pinballing back to Messi. And he now
I thought, either of the 4 chances could have gone in. The Alvarez's chance. I mean, when you see this, you see a player at 38, 39 in 2 days dial up 5 goals over his first 2 games of a tournament. Joe, we could be just 3 weeks away from the coronation of a king of an entire sport.
I know. And here I am in Boston, and the streets are going crazy around me as I look outside the hotel. And yeah, looking forward to getting out there and seeing all these Argentine fans who are waving flags galore around here. And in Dallas, they're going absolutely crazy as we see the replay of that chance. Some great saves and defending from the Austrian player and goalkeeper again. But it's just sheer force, sheer will from Messi. And, you know, he went close a few times in that first half, Nick. So overall, probably deserved that second goal today, given what he's given to the game. And he was on the floor, kind of led like this way when he hit it, right? It was
through. Got a nutmeg in here too. Yep.
Wow.
He's pretty good.
Yeah.
Inter Miami have something over there.
Yeah. Messi has both the goals, 2-0 up as
well. We got a baby.
The crowd shots, seeing a baby being chucked into the air in a responsible way, with a Messi shirt on. And he is loving it. It's great to see the smile on his face. Wow.
Yeah.
He's already got 5 goals in the first 2 games of this tournament, Nick.
Was Kane's Golden Boot 5 goals last tournament?
May well have been. He's got 18 goals all time. 2 ahead of Miroslav Klose. And Argentina is still going. Messi's still going for it. He's going for the hat-trick.
I'm sorry. Mbappe in 2022 had 8.
They got
2018.
Yeah, 2018 in Russia, and then
6 goals.
Messi. Right, there's a free kick right at the end of the game. Messi's won it centrally. I wonder what's going to happen here.
I'm pretty certain there have not been. Oh, there's a 100-year-old Messi fan. Do it for her, Leo. I'm pretty sure we haven't seen consecutive World Cup hat tricks from a player before.
No. Oh, wow. This is going to be great.
Yeah, Paredes is like, yeah, and Losandro, hey, Leo, why don't you let me take this? You know, it's what do you say, boss? I think it's just too far away, but it is Leo Messi, Joe.
It is. I think he might have the right to take this free kick. And here he is. He steps up. Oh, curls it inches wide, maybe a foot wide of the post, and that's it. That's the last act of the game. Full time.
Joe, would you say he fizzed that?
Fizzed it. A low fizzer. I like it. Let's move straight into analysis here, Nick, in terms of reaction and what we thought about Argentina in that game, our key takeaways on Argentina and Lionel Messi. I think this is what we're saying, a historic day for Messi in getting the all-time leading goal scoring record at the World Cup. Obviously, tough start to the day for him, missing the penalty kick, but to show the resilience that he did, the quality to finish off that first goal, which looked like it was going to be enough for most of the game, but then obviously added a second late on. Had a couple other chances, but Austria defended well, made blocks, goalkeeper made good saves. So again, just to what we said before about Argentina in this World Cup, they've got players in the right positions to do a lot of the legwork for him, to give him, try and create some space, because I don't know how you let Messi have space if you're the opposing team, but somehow he always seems to find it. And that it's just all about, for me, how Argentina have managed to create this system to get the best out of Messi in the key areas in the final third. And he did it once again. And, you know, there wasn't much in the game apart from him. It was Messi made the difference once again, right? Is that the key takeaway?
Yes, I think it's also there's a larger pattern here that will be worth watching of these teams, of how difficult it has been at this tournament to keep levels up and to, you know, show your finishing. Look at Germany, look at the US, you know, to some extent Germany, I would say, Argentina as well, where the first games were kind of, I don't want to say rollicking, but like, oh, look at us. And that second game, teams know a little bit of your tendencies, and they're very desperate to get points, even after Austria won the first game. And I just want to be careful not to look at this game and say, oh, 2-0, easy peasy, because they did not put Austria away.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's fair that they're still the class of the tournament with France. I still think it's those two with a slightest dip down to England, but only because I've just still have questions about what England's best back four is.
Yeah, and I think this is a good test at the right time for Argentina against Austria to see against a very solid, well-drilled team that's gone far in the European Championships recently. This is a step up from their first game against Algeria, like you said. And I think they have shown again how professional they are, how, again, they don't have their feathers ruffled easily these days. They kind of stay focused. And again, I think it's all down to the respect of Messi, right? In terms of we need to do our job to put the GOAT in the best position so he can win us the games. And there's just that responsibility level throughout the team that just goes up a few notches. And we saw that professional display, did what they had to do. And I guess the only kind of disappointing thing would be obviously the injury that, with Otamendi coming on for Romero in a second. Obviously, hopefully it's nothing serious, but we know that he's struggling, and that could impact Argentina's defensive unit, right, in the latter stages. But best not to risk it right now in the group stage. And in the end, I think a very well-deserved win for Argentina, but Austria can take a lot away from that. And I think if I'm them, I'll be very comfortable going into the knockout rounds, which I think they're going to. Fancying my chances of at least getting to the round of 16, because I saw enough then of them against this great Argentina side and how well they defended that they can replicate that performance against some of the other big boys and probably get a result. So, this is Messi's day. Make no mistake about that. And Argentina are looking good and solid. But hats off to Austria for making this a very enjoyable game and a very close game. So, Nick, I think for Argentina, what do you see next for them? Obviously, their final group stage game is against Jordan. Do you think that is when Messi gets rested? Or can you really rest him in this situation? He'd probably go out and score another couple.
It's the player's preference. I mean, obviously not if he wants to play 90.
True.
But if he thinks he needs that every fourth day or fifth day in this scenario at the World Cup, or sixth day, whatever it is, I haven't looked, then you go with him. I mean, you trust his body, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if he was just on for the last 20 minutes of the game. I mean, what a great situation for them to be in. And just a word for Lionel Scaloni, who, it wasn't that long ago we were talking about an Argentina national program that, the fans were questioning where Messi stood in its not in its records books, obviously, but in its legacy. And all they've done since 2021 is win 2 Copas America and a World Cup. And Scaloni is 48. This is his first senior management job. Might want to retire after after this one. But I think the sky's the limit for them. I would not want to face them because I think they can beat you 1-0 and they can beat you 4-3.
Yeah, and also, as of right now, Argentina against Uruguay is the knockout round game. So obviously it could change a lot, the brackets, etc. But that would be quite something. But if you look at the side of the bracket they would potentially be on, Nick, it's all lining up for them to get to the semi-finals again. They would be on a very winnable side of the bracket, and the opposite one.
But do they dodge the U.S., Joe? That's what all eyes. I'm sure all Argentine eyes. Everyone is fearing.
I can confirm they would not meet them until the final. So if it stands as it does right now, so again,
be in New Jersey, Leo.
Yeah, just another reason, right, for Argentina just to take care of business. Let's win the group. Let's get rest and recovery and keep Messi wrapped in cotton wool. And then we will sort of have a bit of a break in the last group stage game here. They can afford to rotate heavily now. And then Uruguay would not be an easy round of 32 game for them. If it does end up being that's actually a very difficult test. But again, it's Argentina, it's Messi. They've been exceptional at this World Cup, professional, totally ruthless, absolutely. And Messi has scored all 5 of Argentina's goals in their 3-0 win against Algeria and their 2-0 win against Austria to start the World Cup. So Nick Mendola, any final thoughts, key takeaways on this historic moment as we're seeing Argentina fans across the world celebrate?
Yeah, put on my my TV panelists controversial hat. Is Argentina too dependent on Lionel Messi? So
yeah,
no other thoughts. I need a nap before I watch what I think France is about to do to Iraq. So I'll be done with the thoughts.
Oh yeah, no, it's going to be fun. And I think, you know, Argentina, the fans bring so much to the party at the World Cup, and having Messi in this kind of form, we all hoped it would happen in this tournament. But I think that this is better than any of us could have dreamed for in terms of seeing what he's doing at this stage of his career. And Argentina went from like, oh, it's going to be tough for them to repeat, to now you have to find a very good reason to say they're not going to go all the way, at least to reach the final again, given the form that he's in and the team around him is in to set up these chances. So, Nick, all left for me to say is thanks so much for joining me for this watch along today. Thanks everyone for your comments. It's been a pleasure having you join us for Austria 0, Argentina 2, the Messi show once again in Dallas. And of course, head over to Pro Soccer Talk at NBCSports.com for all our latest World Cup coverage. We'll be on site at stadiums throughout the tournament. It's so much fun to be part of this. And again, thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure to have you with us today for this watch along. So speak soon. Nick, thank you. Take care.
See you guys.
See ya.